Hello, good morning. This is Mohammad Ramzan Beg. I'm teaching English for 8th class. Today topic is first unit of lessons that the unit name is family. Children, you know that in the present society what type of families we find, and here is a picture given to you. In face sheet there is a picture. Two pictures are given here. One is first family is a small family, that it is called a nuclear family. That means father, mother and two children are there. And another family is given, that it is a big family, that is called joint family, including father, mother, grandfather, grandmother and children. This kind of family is called a joint family, and this is called a nuclear family. I think you know it well. So later, here one debate is given to you. To participate in the debate, children, it is better to write 10 lines paragraph or 10 sentences paragraph on the topic small families or happy families. Here it is given to you. A debate given. Actually you have to participate in the debate, but you may write in a paragraph taking this title small families or happy families. Now let me come to the first lesson, reading A, the tattered blanket. From this unit A lesson is given to you, the tattered blanket. This is a story written by Kamala Das, well-known English writer, poet also, short story writer she is. Now here one beautiful story is given here, tattered blanket. Children, do you know what is the meaning of tattered? Tattered, it is the meaning of old and torn in poor condition. Old and torn in poor condition, which is that one is called tattered. So here story writer Kamala Das, she is going to narrate a story of a small family and how that small family is facing some problems. The condition of the small family, here she is going to explain. She is going to narrate. All of you open your textbook, A lesson, and see in the book here. First paragraph, I'm coming to the first paragraph here. All of you see then. In the story here, actually a mother, a sister and a young man, three people are there in the story. Now let me start here. When he arrived unexpectedly at the home in the countryside in his office car and got down at the gate, his mother, who was lying in an armchair on the veranda, made a futile attempt to get up. So the story began. That means in the beginning of the story, narrator took the scene of something where some young man who comes and stops his car at the gate and he enters the gate. At the time, an old woman was lying in an armchair. This was the situation. On the veranda, an old woman, she was sitting there, lying there. And after that you see, Kamala, there is somebody at the gate. She said, somebody is in a car. That old woman, she called her daughter. Her daughter name is Kamala, and she is talking to Kamala. She is asking that someone came. Who is that? Kamala, her eldest daughter, a widow who was sitting huddled up on the veranda, her head and ears covered with a thin bath towel, got up reluctantly, walked slowly to the gate and screwing up her eyes peered into the darkness. So this is the scene here. Who is Kamala here? Kamala is the daughter of that old woman, and that Kamala, she is the eldest daughter and she is a widow. She is sitting huddled up on the tina. Tina means the meaning is given here. What is the meaning of a tina? Its meaning is a sit out, where some elevated place on the veranda. Kamala was sitting there, and this Kamala, old woman asked Kamala, and that Kamala, she was sitting on the thinner, and her head was covered with a towel. And later you see that she walked to the gate and also screwed up her eyes towards the man who is coming into the gate, into the darkness that it is. So this is the paragraph. Next, let me come to that another page. You come to that second, that is the fourth page in the textbook. She saw a bald, fat, middle-aged man walking in through the gate. So she saw that young man, a bald-headed, middle-aged man, he was coming through the gate here. Oh, Gopi, she said in her grating voice, why this sudden unexpected visit? That Kamala, that woman was asking the question to the man, his name was Gopi. Kamala, who is it? Her mother asked her loudly from the veranda. So her mother, an old woman who was sitting there, she asked her daughter, eldest daughter, who was the man. And she asked the question loudly to him, who is it? Gopi, the man said. There was a meeting in Thiruvananthapuram. I just dropped in on my way back. That young man told that he had some business on his way. He wanted to see his mother and his sister. That is why he came here. Who, Kamala? Who is it? There was a note of alarm in Amma's voice. So while talking these two people, Amma introduced. Amma means here mother. And that mother, she involved and she interfered. She asked the question again, who is it? Amma, why are you so scared? Kamala, Gopi's eldest sister, asked her a little awkwardly, as if you are seeing Gopi for the first time. So Kamala asked her mother, why are you scared, fearful and frightened? Its meaning is scared means fearful and frightened. Kamala asked her mother why she was scared. And next paragraph you see that, Amma, it is me, Gopi. He said again. Gopi, a young man who came, he also introduced himself. Amma, this is Gopi. It is Gopi. He said, he introduced himself. He bent down and brought his face closer to her wrinkled cheeks. Amma, it's me. Gopi, Kamala, I cannot believe it. Has his school closed for vacation? Here, in the second line, you see that wrinkled cheeks. Wrinkled means folded. Why given you here? Wrinkled means here folds are ridges in the skin. So mother's face and cheeks are in wrinkled, that are folded skin she has. Ridges skin she had. Gopi, Kamala, I can't believe it. Has his school closed for vacation? So what do we understand by reading this question, by reading this statement here? Children, that we can understand that Gopi's mother, she is a forgettable woman. She does not have memory properly. That is why she is asking the question like this here. Amma is often like this these days. She does not recognize anybody, Gopi's sister explained. But sometimes her memory is quite sharp. Then she asks me, if you have not any letter, you have not written any letter, you have, I repeat that. Then she asks me if you have sent any letter. I tell her everything is fine with you, Vimala and the kids. What is the point of telling her that you have not written for a year? Poor thing. I would not dream of making her unhappy. So, in this paragraph, Kamala is going to explain how the mother's memory is, how the mother's condition is, and also even if he had not written any letter, and this sister, she tells simply that he had written the letter and everything is fine. She used to convince her mother. This is the condition of her mother. Next, you see that I got a promotion last year. After that, I am always on my toes, and there are toes quite often. I don't get any time to write letters. So here, this young man Gopi, he is telling like this: he is always on his toes, on my toes, on his toes. On toes means busy. Its meaning is that phrase word meaning is busy. Because of his business, he could not write letters. That it is the meaning. You see the next one. Why don't you ask Vimala to write? Or doesn't she get any time to? She asked the question. Vimala, who is Vimala Yan? That means we have to understand Vimala is the wife of that Gopi, young man. Why don't you ask Vimala to write? Or doesn't she get any time to? Kamala asked the question. What are you mumbling over there? Amma said loudly. So Amma asked the question here to Kamala and Gopi. Why? What are you mumbling there? That mumbling meaning is which is not clear, not cleared talking here. Slowly talking, its meaning. I heard somebody coming in a car. Who is it? Mother asked. I told you it's Gopi. But Gopi is in Delhi, is not he? Yes, Amma, it's me. I have come from Delhi. So here these sentences, while reading, we can understand that the memory power of the old woman. She get confused always. That is why she is asking. So she is saying that Gopi is in Delhi, and previous paragraph, in the earlier paragraph, she said some other words. So she was in confusion because of his losing the memory. Now let me come to that. Who did Gopi marry? Amma said, suddenly lowering her voice. I mean, what is his wife's name? You see that, children? That old woman, she forgot her son's wife name. That is her daughter-in-law's name. She forgot. That is why she is asking the name of her daughter-in-law. Don't say you have forgotten her name too. Don't you remember, Vimala? District Collector Nambiar's eldest daughter, Gopi's sister, said here. So Kamala is reminding Gopi's wife name. Who is that Vimala, and some other information she is giving to her mother. That is, Vimala is the daughter of that district collector Nambiar's eldest daughter. She again introduced her mother. Oh, I forgot the name. Was there a letter from Gopi today? You see the children? How the mother asked the question. By asking this question, we can understand her memory, her condition is not in good. There was, he writes every day. Kamala interfered here. So Gopi writes letters every day. So by reading this, we can understand the discussion when we read here between the two people, Gopi and his mother, Kamala and her mother. By these dialogues, we can understand her mother lost her memory power. Next, you see that in the page number 5, I am terribly upset if I don't get a letter from him every day. She said here. He knows it. That is why he writes every day. Mother said like this, if I don't get any letter, she terribly upset. Upset means she feels very bad. Not in good, unpleasant. Its meaning is unpleasant. Mother said like this. But in reply, Kamala says here, he knows it. That is why he writes every day. So Kamala interferes and says like this here. Look at the way she talks. Gopi's sister returned to him. Just as I told you, you know nothing about what is going on here, do you? So Gopi's sister tells like this here, what is going on here, do you know? How the mother's condition is here? She asked the question to her brother, younger brother. It's me, Gopi. No, you see that, who is that? Amma said again, who is that in a car? Mother again asked the question. It's me, Gopi said. I had to come to Thiruvananthapuram. I thought I should drop in to see you, Amma. He explained, he gave that explanation why he came, and on the way he wanted to come back to his home. Who is your Amma? What is her name? Where does she live? Is it far from here? Mother asked the question. So this is the bad condition of the mother. Always she forgets. She asked the young man, who is your Amma? This is the very poor condition of the mother. Then, no, it is quite near. He said, Gopi, young man said that it is quite near. And I don't know how I can bring back her memory. Gopi's sister said it to him exasperatedly, and Gopi, what she told her, I don't know how I can bring back her memory. So this is everyday condition, and she told her younger brother, this is the condition of a mother, and how do we bring her back? So that by saying this, that poor condition of the mother and Gopi's condition also, it was different because he was not staying here, he was staying far away. So let me see in the children. Now today's a part of the lesson. Let me conclude and let me come back the new words of this lesson. I have written here, and you also observe. Take the notebook, write them clearly, and memorize them. Tattered, old and torn, in poor condition. And the second word, futile, F-U-T-I-L-E, futile. Its meaning is unsuccessful. On huddle, H-U-D-D-L-E, huddle. Held arms and legs close because of fear or cold. It is a way of sitting because of a cold, because of a fear. Think now, sit out. It is an elevated place on the veranda. Screaming, narrowing the eyes to look more carefully. And the next word is reluctantly. Reluctant, or E-L-U-C-T-A-N-T, reluctantly, unwillingly. And come to the another word, grating. Make unpleasant rasping sound. Unpleasant sound it is. Grating. Awkwardly, another word is awkwardly. Not gracefully, in bad. Not gracefully, or another meaning is in bad condition. Awkward. Wrinkled, W-R-I-N-K-L-E-D. Wrinkled. W is a silent W, and its meaning is folds or ridges in the skin on cheeks. So later you come to this children, come back this story. First of all, I asked that beginning of this story, what types of families are there in the present society. In the present society, there are two types of families, joint families and nuclear families. I also gave you a writing work that it is that actually you have to participate in the debate, but instead of that you write 10 lines of sentences that regarding small families are happy families. So you may write what is the joint family, what is the nuclear family. About each family you can write at least 5 or 7 sentences. Okay, and let me complete this part of the lesson. So children, let me see you in the next video and the remaining part of the lesson.